Time for this week's episode of All Things Vuma. We strive to make the ordinary extraordinary by just simply connecting us with each other. In this week's episode, we discover a unique couple staying outside wilderness whose passion it is to show you the freedom of life in a gypsy kind of way. We meet someone that sacrificed their life in Ireland to come and make a difference in the lives of children on the garden route. And due to popular demand, we welcome back Gabriel GreenThumb. In Gardening with Gabriel, he will educate us on the insect-eating plants of this district. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so I'm Debbie Nortje. I chose the garden route because, this part of the country is just one of our most precious gifts for tourism. It's got everything that you could possibly want here, from mountains to rivers to lakes to oceans to all sorts of beautiful activities. And coming from Cape Town, which is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, I wanted to move somewhere that was even better than that. And when looking for this property, we think we definitely found it. I worked as an events director for a big agency in Cape Town for 20 years, designing all sorts of amazing spaces for corporate South Africa. And when I hit 40, I thought, okay, so now I've done it for 20 years, what's next? And I said to Marc, what should we do now? Let's do something different. And he said, well, you're the creative. Come up with a life.
My name is Marc. I'm from Cape Town. I've been working in the film industry all my life. I started at a film school, City Varsity, and worked my way up. And being in the film industry for about 20 years, I started feeling like a number. And I felt like I don't matter. And I can leave the industry for 2 weeks and come back and my position would have changed. And people just move forward in hordes and in numbers. And I didn't feel I was part of that anymore. And I knew that I needed to move away from that and get my own freedom. And finding that freedom in the garden route, I feel right at home here. Once I moved here, I feel that I've reinvented myself here. It's really great. The vision for us started when we came through here on holiday, and we would put the boat in the water and put the anchor in and daydream and think, what could we do if we had to move here? What special service can we do? How can we really capture the hearts of the locals here?
My name's Caitlin. So people can find a completely different vibe to what they're used to. The gypsy wagons, as you see, are something completely unique and different to anywhere else in the world. The sense of relaxation and tranquility is unmatched, and I think that's exactly what people come here for. They come to relax and unwind and to get away from the hustle and bustle of their daily lives. What makes Treedom so unique is especially Marc and Debs and their love for the people and the community and what they stand for and what they believe in to make Treedom what it is today. As the brand manager of Treedom Villas in Vardos, you can find us on all social media platforms. Our Instagram handle is Treedom Villas, our Facebook is Treedom Villas, and our website is www.treedomvillasinvardos.co.za.
No, it's not.
No,
Exit. It's not Treedom Villas and Vardos.
No, it's just Treedom Villas.
Treedom Villas.
But see, we first started as Treedom Villas because we didn't have the Vardos yet. So that's when the website was built.
So it's
just
Treedom Villas.
Yeah. Okay, one more time.
One more time.
As the brand name.
Yes.
Just the website, okay. Our website is www.treedomvillas.co.za. Awesome. Is that okay?
Can I introduce myself again?
No. Yes. No.
Yes.
My name is Mary McCollum and I'm from a town called Limavady in Northern Ireland. I moved here nearly 3 years ago because I felt I was being called to come and work in this school in George. The garden route is, of all the places in the world that I could have been called, I think the garden route is probably one of the most beautiful. The mountains, the sea. If I have to leave Northern Ireland, which was difficult to do, George is a pretty good place to end up. So George Royal Academy was formed from an organisation which has existed for about 15 years called Sports Academy George. It was an after-school sports club, and then in 2019 we evolved into a high school. So in January of 2019 we took in our first grade 8s, and each January since then we have taken in a new grade 8. So this year, in a few weeks, we will have our first ever matrics going to sit their national exams. What makes this school special is, I think it's put here by God. I think that's what makes it special. The leadership very much felt that it was God was calling them to start it. We are entirely an MPO, and we don't receive any funding from the government. And we offer a free education to kids from our underprivileged communities. They are picked on the basis of their sport, and then they come and receive their education with us. So the passion I have for this school is to see the communities that these kids come from, where it's just a cycle of poverty. There's very few aspirational characters. They don't see people growing up and going to university. They just see people growing up and doing the same thing over and over again. And what we want to do is we want to take these kids out of that culture and give them opportunities. We want to give them opportunities in the sports field. We want to give them opportunities academically. The reason we bring them out of the townships is to show them that there's more to life. There's more to life than what they see in their local communities, and to help them to be the best people that God has created them to be. We believe that God has a plan for each and every one of these kids, and that in order to reach that, we need to tell them about Jesus, tell them about the gospel, and educate them, because education is what opens doors in any country. So if you want to find out more, you can go onto our website. If you just Google George Royal Academy, or we have a Facebook page or an Instagram page, you will find all our contact details there. Thank you.
If people come to the school, do they have a ticket to heaven? That's just a joke.
I was like, in my head I was like, what a weird question, but I have to ask it. I have to answer it.
Hey guys, welcome back. Remember me? Okay, so I decided, since there's so many plants to choose from, today we're going to talk about carnivorous plants that you can collect, that there's a lot of confusion around, and I'm going to try and demystify these carnivorous plants for you, because are they really that difficult to look after? No, they're not. Not even if you've got a brown thumb. Okay, so let's go. So first, we've got Sarracenias. Sarracenias are from North America, right? They are generally commonly known as trumpet pitcher plants. Okay, so what that means is you can see that the shape of the plant is actually shaped like a trumpet, right? It's got a fluted pitcher with a lid and an opening. And so generally people come to me and they'll say, oh, I've got so many insects, I've got a problem with insects, what do I do? Give me a Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap, we'll get to that. Sarracenias are the best for that type of problem. So if you've got an insect problem, these guys are the go-to for insects, because they chow down on insects like no one's business, okay? They're also usually very beautiful, they're colorful, and they tolerate full sun, which is, in South Africa, a really important thing. They're from the North American continent, and they are capable of dealing with really cold weather as well as really hot weather, right? Okay, so those are all the Sarracenias, and they include the tall fluted pitchers as well as the short and chubby pitchers. Ever heard the saying, lank en skraal soos electric paal, kort en dik soos 'n vullisblik? Well, that would be this, okay? So these guys are a lot fatter, and they've got hairs on the inside. They also hold water, but the water is not, it's deceiving. It's not clear water. It's actually a digestive fluid compounded by rain. It's obviously mixed in with some rainwater. And so what the plant does is, it's got slippery walls on the inside, looks like a flower, but it isn't a flower. So when the insect ventures too far down, it's not coming back, right? And so those are Sarracenias, right? These are the short and stubby ones. Then we'll move on to a less known carnivorous plant called cephalotus. I kind of call it the octopus carnivorous plant because it just is so cute, and it looks kind of like little babies swaddled in clothes, like a newborn baby with a little bonnet on it. It's really cute. They are from Australia. And if you think South Africa does not have carnivorous plants, well, guess again, folks. The sundew, Drosera capensis in this case, of which there are actually a huge variety of Droseras. This is Drosera capensis, which is indigenous to the Western Cape. It's one of the only other carnivorous plants, other than the Venus flytrap, that responds to living insects. So if you give it something, it needs to know that the insect is alive because it responds to touch. And so it's very slow compared to a Venus flytrap, but it does move. So within 20 to half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour, you'll actually see the plant move. They often catch butterflies, and South Africa is home to one of the largest of the species capable of catching our sugarbirds, the sunbirds, right? So these are those guys. And they've got these very beautiful flowers at this time of the year. I call it like they flower on a machine gun reel. And once it's completely bloomed, all of the flowers will turn black and it will begin to set seed. They are by far some of the easiest of the carnivorous plants to look after. Next is a very rare, very unusual carnivorous plant called a heliumphora, which means sun pitcher. Now, if you know Table Mountain in South America, they've got tepuis, and like Table Mountain, the South American tepuis are home to these guys here. They are rare, super, super rare, and they actually use sound in order to get pollinated, so they will not release their pollen except at the frequency of a bee's wing beat, which is really bizarre. Okay, so these are really not easy to care for. The rest of them, super easy. And then, of course, my champion, the bromeliads, since I am a bromeliad lover. This is a carnivorous bromeliad. It's called the forest lantern, okay? And why it's called the forest lantern is it's got this white dust on the underside, which actually comes off on your finger. So at twilight, as the plant is sitting perched on a branch growing in a tree, it seems to glow at sunset and draws insects into it, and they actually get ensnared inside the watery pitcher down below, which then becomes their grave. Okay, and then my favorite and the last of all the carnivorous plants, and the most fascinating, is the nepenthes. Now these, a lot of them are actually endangered in the wild because our rainforests are being destroyed, and these are nepenthes pitcher plants. They are probably the easiest out of all the carnivorous plants to look after, yet they're also the most complicated looking. Okay, so these you can keep as houseplants as well as outdoor if you've got a mild climate. And that is pretty much it, really. So if you wanna have carnivorous plants, 3 things you need to remember. Don't treat me like I'm special just because I look special. That's what the plant is saying. Number 2 is stick to my growing medium. So all carnivorous plants, the reason they eat insects is because they come from areas with really poor soil quality. And so the adaptation in that situation is obviously to gather the nutrients, and they do that through eating insects. So you've got to stick with carnivorous plant growing medium, which you can find at your local nursery or from me. And then lastly, rainwater. The quality of their water is super important. That is a non-negotiable, especially for an annoying plant like the Venus flytrap. Give them rainwater and nothing else. Not bottled water, not borehole water, nothing else. Just rainwater. And if you stick to those 3 rules, you're good to go. I hope this is helpful. And if you have any comments or questions, please hit us up in the comment section. Anyways, from me, take it easy, you guys. Keep your fingers green and keep gardening. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you for watching this episode. See you next week, and live simply, travel light, and always see the wonder.